If you're here, you're probably on the lookout for a second-hand CB500X. This is mine. I've had it for 3 years. I've done 20,000 kilometers. If you want to know what it's like to own one of these and the things to look out for, let me tell you what I've discovered in the last few years. What I'm going to do, we're just going to do a little bit of a lap around the bike, and I'll show you the bits and pieces I put on, and I'll also tell you all the knickknacks that I've discovered about the bike when we get to that particular point. One of the first things I did to the bike when I got it is I put some knobbly tyres on. These are the Mitas E07 Plus, and at the moment they've done 17,000 kilometers and they're not finished yet. It's quite interesting that if you don't ride like KTM rider, the tyres actually last quite a long time. So I'm a bit of a cruiser, I don't go fast, all of my trips are by myself, and these have done exceptionally well at lasting considerably longer than I thought they would. So Mitas E07 Plus, nothing wrong with these at all. I've got these pannier bags from Turkana. It's a South African brand made locally right here in Cape Town. They have been exceptionally good. They weren't necessarily made to fit here, but because of the way they have the mounting system on the back, you can put them anywhere. They're attached to a pannier rack that I've got fitted here, so that has worked really well. They've got a little roll top with the clips that go on there, so it's easy to use. One of the things that this Honda does have a little bit of a thing that you need to navigate around is the exhaust is really close to the bottom of the bag. So there are only a few types of bags that fit so that the bag is not touching the exhaust. You need quite a small bag. And what I did here is I put a little metal plate on. It's an aluminium plate. I put it on there because I had it kicking around in the garage. I just bent it and cable tied it up, and it was a quick 5-minute job. And 3 years later, it's still there. It has worked perfectly. I've seen all sorts of people trying to put little extensions in the exhaust and all of that kind of jazz, and I can't really see any reason to change because it seems to be working. So that was my solution for the exhaust being really close to the bottom of the bags. The foot pegs that come with the bike are those ones that have got the little rubber top to it, and I changed them for some nice sturdy off-roady type ones. I cannot tell you the difference that this has made by having a sturdy place to put your foot. It really has made riding it really nice and easy. And if you're spending a long time standing up, those little skinny thin ones started to make your feet hurt. So this has got a nice big solid flat place. It doesn't get slippery when it gets wet and muddy. So that was a really nice little upgrade. Along with the foot pegs, I noticed that the heel of my boot kept touching on the back of that shiny silver plate that was on the back of the exhaust. So I took that off, and it just gave me a little extra centimetre or two for the heel to fit in, so I'm not always standing what seemed to be standing on the actual exhaust. So that's why this exhaust is black, and the ones that you see in the pictures have got a silver cover. Because of all the gravel riding that I wanted to do, I've had a Bashplate and engine guard installed. It's a little bit of a long one-piece bathtub boat kind of thing, but it absolutely protects everything from underneath. It's fitted where the center stand fits on here, and it all goes all the way through to where the engine mounts are here. So it is one big hard bathtub of an engine Bashplate. Nothing is going to get in there. So this is made by a Rockfox. It's made locally here in Cape Town. That has been a really nice little addition just to protect everything in one go from any of the stones and the sticks and everything from hitting the bottom of the engine. I'm not quite sure if you can see inside here, but I've had a radiator guard fitted just to protect it from sticks and stones and hitting the radiator, and then it's obviously considerably cheaper to buy a radiator guard than it is to buy a new radiator. To help protect the engine, I've got this Rockfox engine guard installed. It has already saved the day once before because I was fiddling around with the camera going down a hill, and over the side I went. So on that side it's got a little bit of a dent to it already, but what it did is it did its job, and it's made by Rockfox right here in Cape Town. We've also installed Barkbusters on here, and it's done two things which aren't actually connected with what they were there for. It's there to protect your levers and everything if you fall over. So that's cool, and everything's fine, and it saved the day on that lever on that side when I fell over. But the thing that it's affecting the most is it's keeping my hands warm because it's deflecting the air, and it's also keeping my gloves clean. Now if you ride a bike without Barkbusters, you know very well how dirty your gloves get, and all you're doing is riding around. So these have kept my gloves clean, my hands warm, and they've saved the levers when I've dropped the bike. I'm sure it's quite obvious that I like to ride a helmet that is open face. I just seem to enjoy that experience. I know it's a little bit more dangerous, but I just enjoy the experience of riding with an open face helmet. So because of that, I needed something to stop the flies going in my face and just kind of calm things down a little bit. So I've had a touring screen fitted on here, and it was also one of the nicest additions. It's only about this much taller than the original one, but that little bit, for my height, I'm 5'7" or 170, whatever you want to do, that little bit of extension made the world of difference to getting the wind over my head or reducing the wind on my face. So this is a smoked one from Puig or however you want to say it. This actually has been a really nice little addition to this bike. It's really nice. It's really nice. For all of my camera gear that I carry around, and to be fair, I carry way too much as it is, I've got a giant loop Fandango. This particular tank bag works for me perfect, 100%. I can fit everything that I need. It's nice and secure. It's in the middle of the bike. It doesn't interfere with me sitting in any way. If I get to the end of the day, I just unzip it and I can take the thing with me. I can run the cables to charge all my batteries and stuff that's in here. It is really, really nice. So for me, giant loop Fandango, perfect. And it fits on this bike like a charm. I've also had an airflow seat cover fitted, and this has been really nice. It keeps your bum nice and cool when it's hot because it lifts you up a little bit and lets the air through. It also gives you a little bit more sponge so that when you're sitting on the seat it's a bit more soft. When it's wet, the water runs off and you don't end up with a wet pants the whole time. And then also when you're getting on and off your bike and your boot's rubbing backwards and forwards, you're not rubbing your boot on the actual Honda seat, you're just rubbing on this one. Again, another little addition that has actually made this bike really, really nice to ride. I'm not quite sure if you can see this one here, but this is a Cobra Nemo 2, and it's an automatic chain oiler. So this you fill up with oil, and then there's a pipe that runs all the way down to the chain, and then you turn this and it just drips oil onto the chain. So as you're riding, there's a little bit of oil dripping on the chain. It just keeps it nice and moist. It's not changing your oil maintenance schedule. It just means if you're out and about and your chain's dried up a little bit, you can just give it a little bit of a turn, add a little bit of oil, and just keep things a little bit lubricated. That has been also one of the nicest things I've had because it's right here, it's almost painless, and what I tend to do is at the end of the ride, just before I turn into the road to go home, I just give it a little bit of a tweak. I know that I'm riding nice and slowly. I just coat the chain with a little bit of oil, and then when the bike's sitting in the garage, I know everything's nice and lubricated. So Cobra Nemo 2 fits there perfect. I really, really like that. And I can't finish without talking about ram mount. And I've got ram mount stuff everywhere. I absolutely love it. I've been using ram mount for 20 years in all sorts of formats. It costs a little bit more to buy it at the beginning, but you know it's not going to break. If it does break, you can get another one. They just send you a new one. The stuff is interchangeable, so you can mix and match stuff however you like. The stuff is awesome. I've got a phone mount, I've got mirrors, I've got camera mounts, all sorts. And it's all easy. The stuff is just good quality, hard wearing. I absolutely love ram mount stuff. So that's all well and good, but what about the actual Honda part itself? What about the bike? The way that I explain this bike to others if they ask is I say it's almost like a Toyota Corolla of motorbikes. It's not very sexy, but it's going to do everything really well. You could probably put the key in, drive to the moon, turn around and come back again, and you're going to have zero issues whatsoever. So that's where this Honda reliability comes in. There has been absolutely zero happened to this bike in the last 3 years, 20,000 kilometers, nothing, zero, nothing. So if there's one thing that this bike has, it is easy, reliable, fuel efficient, fun to ride, lots of accessories. It looks quite cool. It's not a bland looking thing. It is a fantastic bike to ride. So if you're in the market for one of these bikes are fantastic. I have got nothing bad to say about them at all. The only thing people do grumble about is they ask about the spokes, but you can get Rally Raid wheels for this, and they also ask about ground clearance, so that can be tweaked a little bit. But if those were really an issue for you, then you would buy a Transalp, which fixes both of those. I don't think there's anything in the market at the moment that comes even mildly close to the all-round package that you get when you get one of these. That's about it for me for now. There are lots of videos about my bike on the channel, and all the fittings that I've spoken about just now, you can go and hunt them down. I'll put all the link to all of those videos below. If you like what you see, you can do that, hit subscribe and like and all of that jazz. And until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, Ciao.